New revenue shortfall projections could darken the clouds over the Sunshine State for the next 2 years. And former House Speaker John Thrasher wins a thrashing victory in a state Senate race in which his real opponent, trial lawyers, weren't even on the ballot. All of that on Power Play this week with our guests, Joe Folick of the New York Times Florida newspaper and Aaron DeLotte, bureau chief of the Orlando Sentinel. Legislative Budget Commission gets together. The projections are somewhat dire, at least a $900 million shortfall projected for next year. What are we going to do?
Well, not much of a surprise there, and what wasn't talked about much there is the stimulus money is going away next year. And I think beyond the cuts that we're going to expect, one of the ramifications is this is a lubricant, if you will, for oil drilling and Seminole gaming here in the next couple of months. Yes, sir.
So what's on the horizon? What's the state to do? What's going to stop this free fall?
Well, the myth that we were going to be able to have a couple of years of happiness or buy a couple of years of happiness with the stimulus money is gone. And I think you're going to see a little bit more dipping into this discussion of Florida's tax system, some way to restructure the economic engine so that it's not so reliant on growth, which is now a negative factor. I think we'll probably see a revisiting of some sort of the tax increases that were passed last session. But at the end of the day, I mean, they don't know what to do. If they
and does anybody get near the traditional third rail of Florida politics, talk about a state income tax?
No.
Not a chance.
The Florida TBRC, this points to the failure of this commission. They had a chance 2 years ago. There was the political will of Charlie Crist. There was timing. They had a chance to revamp the tax system. And if they didn't do it then, it's going to be a while before we talk about it again.
So, Aaron, is there an idea or a leader on the horizon that can be the hero to save the day?
I don't think so. I mean, the leaders that are on the horizon right now are not talking about the tax system. They're talking about still putting caps on government spending, and that's just sort of incongruous with the problem that the state has right now, which is the economy's transitioned. We're not a growth economy anymore, and we won't be again for a number of years. So we're waiting for somebody to emerge.
Well, we've got this huge election year next year, the biggest ever because all the statewide races are open seats. And clearly the economy will lead the pack of issues voters are concerned about. How big a factor in Florida?
I think it will be a big factor. I think when you think about Charlie Crist, though, he's going to go out there and say, well, hey, I cut your taxes. It is technically the largest tax cut in Florida history. I doubt if a single Floridian realizes it. And I think that given the national picture of the economic downturn, that's going to give local candidates some cover from that.
Okay. Aaron, the late Senator Jim King's Senate seat is the subject of a special election. Former Speaker John Thrasher wins over 3 Republican rivals and over a well-funded campaign by the state's trial lawyers. How significant is his victory and their loss?
Well, when you look at the vote totals, I mean, John Thrasher will have 1 vote in the Senate. That's not a significant shift. What this race, though, was about from the trial bar perspective was trying to set a tone and send a message and warning to other candidates that if you come after us on tort reform, we're going to dump big money into races against you. It's blown up in their faces because of some of the tactics and the fact that the state's electioneering law has been thrown out by a federal judge. The ramifications of this are going to be felt for a long time for the trial bar's legislative agenda.
Jeb Bush comes in and does a spot for Thrasher. It helps win. What's it say about Jeb Bush's clout in the state still?
Hard to say I don't know what kind of effect it had on this race. John Thrasher had name ID and money, plenty of money to spend on this. Certainly, though, I don't think anybody deny having Jeb Bush in there, especially in a special election where people don't know Quiggle from Jordan from Thrasher, having Jeb Bush's face associated with you, obviously a good thing.
But the risk-reward scale, did the trial lawyers miscalculate wildly that this was worth the risk?
Well, I think the business lobby did not expect the trial lawyers to come in so hard into this race, and they had to put together sort of a counter-offensive at the last minute. That was successful. I don't think Thrasher had high name ID in this. I mean, he was a carpetbagger in this race. He moved in, and Dan Quiggle, who had been a tax activist there for a long time, did. Bottom line, though, trial lawyers did miscalculate. There's no way to fudge that or spin it.
All right, we're going to go to your respective power plays of the week.
I'm going to go with Republican Congresswoman Jenny Brown-Waite. She bucked the party a little bit this week, or at least the established hierarchy by endorsing Marco Rubio in the U.S. Senate race.
Okay, Joe?
I'm going to go with the man I like to call BMAC, Bill McCollum. He's using his Attorney General's office very well right now for his campaign. His weighed in on the rate cases with FPL in progress against them. That's not going to hurt him come next year with voters. And he's also got a lot of media love by weighing in on the NCAA records case and asking for PIN messages to be made public.
And I'm going to give it to former Speaker, new Senator John Thrasher, whose victory makes the trial lawyers' agenda maybe a shorter lifespan than a housefly. Thank you, Joe Follick and Aaron Delott. Go to the Safety Review for the latest political news, and we'll see you next time on Power Play.